Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Hashtag AskGSM, a weekly Monday mailbag video where I answer your questions that you sent in from Twitter and Facebook over the past week. Just a brief note here that this might be the final edition of Hashtag AskGSM, or at least in video form, because I leave for college on Sunday. Not really sure if I'll be able to film videos while in college, but nonetheless, if it will be continuing, it will be continuing in article form. But regardless, if you'd like to send in questions, make sure to send a tweet to me on Twitter at SAVE_US_GSM with the hashtag AskGSM, or also like my official Facebook page at GrahamGSMMatthews. So with all that being said, we'll get right down to it right now. A handful of great questions this week. First one comes from Victor T. These are all from Facebook, by the way. So Victor T from Facebook asks, what are your thoughts on a Wade Barrett Fandango tag team, but as faces? I think Fandango could work as a face. I mean, he was so over with the crowd a number of months ago. He still technically is right now, but not as over as he was a number of months ago. He's as cold as an ice cube right now, which is a shame. He does have talent within the ring, but they're not giving him anything good to work with right now. And no, a feud with The Miz does not count. I mean, it's something substantial, but it's not anything as noteworthy as feuding with Chris Jericho on the grandest stage of them all at WrestleMania. That being said, Wade Barrett isn't doing anything right now. I mean, he's been getting more spotlight as of late during his matches with Daniel Bryan over on SmackDown and Raw. So that's good to see, but even still, he shaved his beard recently. He lost the IC Championship. He's still been losing more than ever. So I wouldn't mind seeing it, but I think a Fandango, maybe joining him with Tons of Funk or something like that, both a dancing gimmick. Fandango, I think, can work as a face. I don't know about Wade Barrett. Has never been done before, so it's possible that he could work as a babyface. I'm not really sure. He's done everything but work as a face up to this point. So maybe you turn face, maybe you don't, but it could be kind of an oddball tag team. You try it out. That's always been my thing. You try it out. If it doesn't work, you split them up. But if they're not doing anything at the moment, then why the hell not? Brandon J asks, if Triple H never hooked up with Stephanie McMahon, considering he was an upper mid-carder at best before then, where do you think his career would be today? Could it be possible he jumped ship to TNA? Jump ship to TNA? Probably not. I think Triple H would still be successful had he not married Stephanie McMahon. He probably wouldn't be the COO of the WWE. He might not be, a part of all these factions and whatnot, but he was pretty successful even before he married Stephanie McMahon. So I still think that he would have had a solid career in WWE, still a legendary career had he not married Stephanie McMahon, but would he have jumped ship to TNA? More than likely not. He seemed like one of those individuals that stayed loyal to WWE through and through. As for his push that he's getting today, a part of, being the McMahon faction and stuff like that, maybe that wouldn't have happened. He might not be as big behind the scenes as he is today. He might not have ever gotten that role. But as far as an in-ring career goes, he probably still would have been very successful. Jared J asks, do you think Heyman's involvement and the Punk and Lesnar feud hindered Curtis Axel's push? Most definitely. Curtis Axel was headlining Raws a number of months ago, again, the likes of John Cena. He was facing Triple H. He faced Chris Jericho on a number of occasions and beat him. He was picking up wins over on SmackDown on a number of occasions. So, yes, most definitely. I think Paul Heyman's full focus right now is obviously on the CM Punk, or his feud with CM Punk, as well as his involvement with Brock Lesnar. And because of that, he hasn't paid all that much attention to Curtis Axel. I mean, granted, Curtis Axel is still being featured in the Punk program, and there's a high chance that they might face each other at Night of Champions for the Intercontinental Championship. But even still, his momentum from the last few months has greatly decreased, which is a shame because he does have talent. He is the Intercontinental Champion. He should not be overlooked at the moment. But I think his Paul Heyman's involvement with Punk and Lesnar has definitely taken the shine off of Curtis Axel tremendously. And another Curtis Axel question comes from Andre G. He asks, do you think Curtis Axel will be a main eventer in the future, like 3 years from now? I'm sorry, I'm botching all over the place today. Will he be a main eventer? It's hard to say at this point in time because he's, like I said before, he was headlining Raws a number of months ago, but he's greatly fizzled out in recent months. But that being said, maybe not. I don't see him being WWE champion material. I don't think his mic skills are up to par. They have improved in recent months, but I don't think they're up to par up to the point where he can be a WWE World Champion. But he could be an upper mid-carder, especially with the if he gets robbed from this feud with Punk and whatnot. Main eventer, probably not, but I could definitely see him being a solid addition to the mid-card going forward, especially given the fact that, he's the current Intercontinental Champion and all. Main eventer, probably not, though. James F. asks, should Ricardo Rodriguez be competing in the ring? Most definitely. I like the fact that he's being aligned with Rob Van Dam right now. I mean, there's certain aspects of that pairing that don't make much sense to me. I mean, it's not the most logical pairing in the world, but they both have vendettas against Alberto Del Rio, the World Heavyweight Champion. So it makes sense, and it gets allows Ricardo to get his vengeance on Alberto. But then RVD's getting the push. He's the most over guy in the company. What I wanted to see was Ricardo cost Del Rio the World Championship at SummerSlam to Christian. Then you have Ricardo and Del Rio feud. But I don't know how many people would care about that feud given the fact that the world title's not involved. And no, I don't think those two should be feuding over the World Championship. Ricardo Rodriguez is merely an announcer in storyline. But should he be wrestling? I think so. He wrestled as, I believe it was El Local a couple of months ago back on Saturday Morning Slam. He is a great in-ring performer. So I definitely think he has the potential to be a good in-ring wrestler if he was to be relegated to that role. But in recent years he's been relegated to being an announcer, and in storyline he knows nothing about wrestling. So they would probably give him a Santino-like push in the fact that he knows nothing about wrestling, or maybe like a Joseph Park, I think would be the perfect comparison. Someone who acts green in the ring who is actually a very established wrestler, given the fact that he's abysmal. So I think he should be competing in the ring. I don't know how soon it will be until we see him in the ring, but I guess this pairing with RVD is the best thing for it right now, because I don't think anyone would give two shits about Del Rio feuding with Ricardo Rodriguez, just a one-on-one feud. The final question comes from Kyle O. He asks, do you think Chris Benoit would ever realistically have any chance of being in the WWE Hall of Fame, or him ever being mentioned on WWE program again? Now, this is a very popular question that I've seen many times on Bleacher Report, dirt sheets, forums, and stuff like that. No, I don't think he should be in the Hall of Fame. Yes, Chris Benoit's career, in-ring career, is very Hall of Fame worthy. But the fact is that the Hall of Fame recognizes the people behind the characters, not just the characters. He's a murderer. We gotta face it. I mean, there's conspiracies and whatnot, but the guy's a murderer. You can't honor that kind of thing in the Hall of Fame. So does he deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? The character, yes. The person, no. So you can't overlook the person. I don't think he's ever going to be in the Hall of Fame. There's really no chance in holding out about that. I've always had my hopes that he's going to be mentioned on WWE television at some point. And that's what your second part of your question was. I would hope so. I mean, they've made major strides in recent years in the fact that he's been included on DVD releases. He's going to be in the new Money in the Bank DVD set. I know he was in maybe the Elimination Chamber DVD set, I believe it was. But the fact is that they took out all reference to him on commentary, which is fine. I completely understand that, and that's completely fine. But, being able to see his matches is still something of a spectacle. So I'm glad they're finally recognizing him in some light. He is, of course, in the WWE Encyclopedia. But aside from that, all references of him on the WWE.com website have all since been removed in the last 6 years. So that's understandable. But even still, will he ever be mentioned on WWE program again? There's a chance, but I wouldn't say anytime soon. It's only been 6 years. It hasn't been like 3 decades or anything like that. So I would hold out. I'm holding out hope personally, but maybe down the line, I don't think they're going to talk about him in a positive light. But being mentioned, probably not. But I would like to see him being not referenced to more verbally, but more through footage and whatnot is what I'm hoping for. More in videos and whatnot. And don't completely forget the fact that he ever existed. So maybe featuring his matches, from WrestleMania 20 when he won the World Championship, his match with Randy Orton, which is a very notable occurrence. They have to block out because he was involved in it. At least show the match. Take out all the commentary in regards to him, but at least show the match. So with all that being said, that covers all of this week's questions. Again, not really sure if I'll be continuing to do the video series in video form at least going forward. I'll have later, another video about that later in the week, since I'll be leaving for college this upcoming Sunday. No, I'm not sure if I'll be able to film videos while there. That being said, though, if you still want to send in a question, maybe I answer it in article form going forward. Not really sure, but even still, make sure to follow me on Twitter at @SAVE_US_GSM and send me a tweet with the hashtag AskGSM, or like my official Facebook page at GrahamGSMMatthews, just to drop a comment on the wall. So without that being said, guys, really do appreciate you guys watching the video. Greatly means a lot. Greatly appreciate it. So make sure to hit that subscribe button as well. This is GSM signing out. Till next time, guys.